Hello everybody and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events, recording this Monday, November the 28th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The rain is here and approaching about 1.5 to 2 inches. But what I want to focus in on this blog, and we're going to learn from the lessons from this weather event and apply them to the next one, at least sort of, because I'm really keeping an eye on next weekend. Now, we're going to key in on that weekend of December 3rd and December 4th for the potential for another storm system. Now, there are mega model differences is what I'm calling them. As you know, if you've been a long time reader and viewer of the blog, you know that I don't use this blog to tell you, say, hey, this is what's going to happen. That happens every now and then, when we get closer to an event. But I also use this as a tool to show you some of the things I'm looking at that goes into formulating a forecast. And there's so much that goes into it. There's so much data now these days on the internet. It's almost information overload. Also, if you know me, you know I really like the European model. It's not without sin. It gets things wrong. But all we have to do with this current episode is look back and just scroll down here on the blog, but just look back at what the models were showing several days ago for what's happening today, Monday, when I'm recording this. Both of them, the GFS and the European, were both showing just extreme amounts of rainfall across the state with amounts at least 6-7 inches of rain. And we know that that wasn't true. Now, the first computer model that backed away from that idea was the European computer model. That, again, it was wrong, but it was the first one to go towards a more correct solution that was rooted more in reality. So that does not mean necessarily that the European is going to be correct next go around, but just to show you that it does have some credibility. So I want to show you what's going to happen next weekend. And I cannot stress this enough. I want to make this as abundantly clear as possible that I'm not saying what I'm about to show you is going to happen. I just want to show you the data. That's all. I geek out. That's what I do. I geek out at weather data. All right. Doesn't look anything exciting here, does it? This is the GFS. It's really ho-hum, isn't it? See this blue line, solid blue line? That's the 540 line. That's usually a good indicator of rain, snow in the wintertime, very dependent upon surface temperatures. There is a system here in the southwest, really over the Baja of California. You see a surface low trying to develop in the western Gulf of Mexico, some rain along the coast. So really, this is nothing. This is valid for noon next Sunday on the 4th. Noon, Sunday the 4th. Long range. It's Monday. This is 6 days away. So again, this is the surface. It's dry, seasonably cool, rain towards our south, real cold air bottled up towards the north. And then we look at the map at 500 millibars, about 20,000 feet. We look for the ridges and the troughs. And you see some troughing here. That's why that 540 line took a little bit of a dip here. There's the storm system. The GFS shows this very wound up, but it's way out towards our southwest. So look at the difference here. That's the GFS, and then we're going to look 500 millibars. That's the upper level low. Now I'm going to switch over to the European and look at the difference. I mean, that's night and day. That's the European. That's the GFS. So obviously the European is more progressive, as it was with this storm system. It moved it through much quicker. The one that we're experiencing right now, limiting the extreme rainfall amounts. And here comes a system from the European computer model. So at 500 millibars, you see this upper level low coming out with an area of low pressure out in front of it at the surface and rain. So what does it look like at the surface? And again, when I show this to you, this does not mean this is going to happen. All right. For those of you who are not as big weather geeks as me, let me explain. Surface low, according to this, in northern Alabama. That upper level low is a cold pool of air. Notice how that 540 line drops down to the south underneath that upper level low and comes up right over Arkansas. So you have the surface low, and on the back end, you would have something falling from the sky that wouldn't be rain. That's a good way of putting it. What this is showing you is that we would have rain on Saturday, and before it came to an end, I don't have the Saturday map here, but this is at noon on Sunday, 6 days away and in the long range, and this is the second run of the European model to show this. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but there could be a changeover, especially for northern Arkansas. You can see all that back in Oklahoma too, so. Anyway, so we're in that mode. It's going to be December. And we've been telling you, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I've been talking about, the GFS ensembles at least showing a turn to colder. So we'll see. You look at the GFS and it's nothing. You look at the European, you're like, northern Arkansas, especially those higher elevations. 6 days away. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for coming to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events.